Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to cut and make this card, this St. Patrick's Day card. So we have the design here, and what I've done is went ahead and laid out all of the color pieces onto my mat according to where they need to go. Then you're just going to load the cut mat. And I've already placed in here a sketch pin, so just make sure when you have that in there it's pushed all the way down. Biggest thing about using the sketch pins. Okay, when I come over here to the screen, what I want to do is just take all the writing right here, go over to my cut settings, tell it that I want to cut there, but I need to turn off the cutting for the other areas. So you'll just have to go through and click no cut for all the ones that you don't want. Okay, so you'll want to go through the file and you'll want to click on all of these items and make sure it says no cut, because you don't want to cut anything right now. All we're doing is using the sketch pen to write out the words right here. So once you've done that, and the only thing that says cut is right here, the selected text right here that says Lucky, then you'll come over here, select Silhouette Sketch Pen, and if your mat is loaded and your paper's on there and your sketch pen's in there, send to Silhouette. Okay, that is all finished sketching out, and I thought I would save you the horrible robot strangulation sound that the machine makes when it's doing stuff. So cut forward all the way to here, and now I have my paper that's all written on. Now I'm going to pull out the sketch pen and replace it with my cutting blade after I go into cut and do the settings. It's probably going to tell me to put it to 4. So on the settings back in the file, now you need to go back into cut, set it to not cut where you have the writing. If you're having this make a card for you, then you'll want to make sure there's enough paper to cover this space, and you'll want to turn on those 3 areas to cut. I'm actually using just a note card that's this size, so I don't need it to cut these outer areas, so I'll leave those on no cut. I am going to cut this to show you what it looks like with the clover, although I'm going to use a crocheted clover on my final card. I need to cut the lettering and then cut the background behind the lettering. And then when I go up here, I'm just using some cardstock, and it will probably tell me to set my blade to 4, and it does, so I'm going to switch those out. Okay, very important, when I had finished doing the writing, of course my screen tells me to unload, but you do not want to unload because you want everything to be lined up right. I had to switch my blade over to a 4. Make sure that's all the way pressed down. Lock it in. And then come over here, send to Silhouette. Okay, it finished doing all the cuts, and I have my different pieces. Now I'm just going to have to weed that out, tape stuff together, and I actually like to use those foam padded sticky guys to give it a little bit of a lift for the clover and the wording. And the final card, I'm actually going to attach the crocheted 4-leaf clover brooch that I've made. So here's my finished product. Again, I used just some of these foam adhesive squares and stuck it underneath here to give it a little bit of a lift. And then I'm using this crocheted 4-leaf clover with a brooch pin on the back and then pinning it onto the underside. But you could always just use this clover or enlarge that clover. It looks like he ended up being kind of small compared to this, but you may want something that's a little bit smaller, or you may want to do a few of these along here. So have fun. I'd love to see your creations, and again, you can find the file on my website. Thanks.